Hey sunshines. So my name is Treasure and welcome to my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is based around my personal journey of dealing with mental illness, specifically severe depression and severe anxiety. And in this video, I am just giving kind of a little bit of backstory, kind of a little bit of my opinion, dealing with depression and anxiety. It is a little bit all over the place because I was really nervous to record this video, but when you watch the video, you'll see why and all of those things. So if you are interested in this type of video, please keep on watching. I want to document and share my story with dealing with mental health. I have been suffering from depression and anxiety for noticeably about 3.5 years now, but actually probably much longer than that. Just was really in denial about it. So I really just want to share my day-to-day, like what it's like to suffer from depression and deal with anxiety, because I know that there are so many people out there that deal with the same thing, and there's not a lot of like resources or support for everyone. And if I can share my story and that helps somebody feel less alone, then I am here to do that. Won't lie, it's very nerve-wracking for me and very scary for me to share like very personal details about like my day-to-day life, just because I'm such a private person, and if it were up to me, nobody would know, what I'm going through. But I feel like it's a part of my purpose in the world to share my story and inspire other people to know that they're not alone and you can get through it even when you feel like you can't. There are many different things that can trigger someone into depression, but I feel like there are certain things that you feel when you're going through depression that is pretty universal, but also at the same time, everybody that suffers from depression or anxiety, their experience is very unique to them. I don't think that any two people really experience exactly the same thing and the same feelings as the next person, because everybody's triggered by different things, and the way that you go about or the way that you deal with those things, that's your own personal life choices. But I do think that there are some things that you can relate to other people that are experiencing it, just like the not being able to get out of the bed, or not being able to keep up with your hygiene, or not being able to literally do anything, and opening your eyes is a lot of work some days. And I think depending on how bad or deep your depression is really probably determines how much you feel it. Me personally, I feel like I have dealt with so many different emotions coming to depression, and probably have experienced almost every type of emotion, probably everything except for attempting to commit suicide, and then obviously dying because of suicide. But everything up into that point, I feel like I've experienced it. I have been suicidal, which is more like suicidal ideation. I've never attempted anything or planned anything, but I definitely have felt like I'll just be better off, not here. People around me will be better off without me. And that is an experience that I feel like if you're in a really deep depression, you feel that. And it's the worst feeling in the world to feel like you don't want to be here. And it's something that's not talked about enough from people that experience it themselves. And you hear it more about, from, doctors or therapists. This is, clinically what depression is, or clinically this is what anxiety is, but there's not a lot of resources out there that are personal to like the human experience of, how someone really feels. I hope that, somebody will watch my videos and be able to relate, and that helps them, keep going the next day, the next minute. Honestly, even what you see me look like right now, like I combed my hair, I, put a little bit of, makeup on to make myself feel, look more alive, to sit in front of a camera and, talk to you guys. But this is not what it looks like to be in the thick of your depression. This is not even in the way that I'm, talking right now, is not what it is like to be in the thick of your depression. I feel like it's really important to say that, because I don't want somebody to, watch this video and feel like, they look at me and they feel like, well, if she's saying that, she suffers from depression or anxiety, and that's what she looks like, and she was able to do certain things that I'm not able to do, and that discourages you. Absolutely not, because this is not what I look like on a day-to-day. I just happen to have just enough energy to pull myself together and record this video. And if I'm being honest, it has taken me months and months and months to actually sit down and get myself to record, because it's not easy, and it's not something that is just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna record today. It takes a lot of work mentally to get yourself to that point when you're suffering from depression and anxiety. Personally, my experience suffering from both depression and anxiety, they trigger each other. And so that makes it a lot more difficult, in my opinion, to deal with, versus if I only suffered from depression or I only suffered from anxiety. And everybody experiences their own, battles of things, and it's not to minimize, anybody's experiences where, you're having a bad day, but I do feel like there is a unfortunate stigma out there of what depression looks like, and people that are maybe just, having a bad day or bad week or a bad month, and they slap the word depression on it when that's really not what, they're going through. It makes it harder for people that are suffering from depression, because people that don't understand what depression is and people that have never experienced that look at this person who isn't really depressed, but they are, going through a bad time in their life, and they're able to get up and pull themselves together. But when you're suffering from depression, you're not able to do that. You're not able to get up and pull yourself together to go to work or go to school or, do day-to-day activities. And someone who doesn't know that and doesn't understand will look at someone who truly is depressed and feel like, well, you're not doing enough. you just need to get up and do it. You need to be positive. You need to do, X, Y, and Z, when really it's not that easy. And that's something that I have personally struggled with people around me that mean well, but because they don't understand it, it's easier for them to, just say, like, just get up and do something, when all you want to do is cry in your bed, or all you want to do is hide under the covers, or just not wake up the next day. So I feel like it's important to be kind to the people that are suffering from, mental illnesses, because especially if you don't know what they're going through because you've never experienced it, it's not fair to really put expectations on them. Right now, I would say that I am experiencing more of depressive episodes than being in full-blown depression. And I say that because maybe about 6 months ago, and then the 3 years before that, I was not able to do anything all day, every day. Every day was a bad day. Every day I felt like I cannot go on. I cannot live. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. And the past 6 months, I haven't felt like that every single day. And so I try to look at that as a plus, even though it's hard to, be positive when you're suffering from depression, but which is why I would call now more depressive episodes, because I will be okay one day, and then, for the next 3 days, I'm, back in that mode of not being able to move and not being able to do anything, and then I'll slowly come out of that and then be okay again, and then slip right back into it. So I don't know if that's like the technical term, or, how to really explain it, but it's how I associate it. Is right now I'm having depressive episodes because I get breaks, is how I would explain it, from feeling the emptiness that you feel when you're depressed, which, when I try to be positive, I am grateful for those breaks. I was just telling a friend the other day that it feels like you're coming up for air, just to, breathe a little bit before you start drowning again. So that's what I would describe what I'm feeling now. But it's definitely still hard for me to get through the days. Even with my okay days, I would consider, when I try to like wrap my head around what it is I'm feeling, I have what I would call good days, because I'm basing it off of what my normalcy is now, and not what it was before I was depressed. But I would say that I have good days, and then I have okay days, and then I'm just surviving days. And those days, it's like I'm just doing the bare minimum to get through. And then I will have days where it's like I'm here, and that's it. I'm here. And then I'll have bad days, and then I don't want to be here anymore days. So that's kind of like a big scale, and at any moment my day can change. So it's not even just, I woke up in a good mood today, so I'm having a good day all day long. That can happen, but that's not necessarily how it happens. I could wake up in a good mood, and then my day end badly, or my day end okay, or I can wake up in a bad mood and my day end good, or my day stay bad. You really cannot determine what kind of day you're gonna have. You really can't determine what the next minute is gonna feel like. So it's better if you just take it moment by moment, and that's something that I struggle with, but I try to, keep telling myself, like, just take it moment by moment, even when you feel like I can't take anymore. Right now, I do a lot of, or not a lot, but a few things that kind of help me throughout the day, like making to-do lists and reading, going outside to get fresh air, trying to work out, keeping my mind like busy. And that I've only been doing these things for, let's say, maybe the past 3 months. Because before that, it was, there was no routine. There was no, I know what I'm gonna do the next hour, tomorrow. It really was just as it came, is what it was. And I tried to, set routines and like get myself in like a groove, to keep my mind focused, but I just didn't have the mental capacity to keep up with it. And now it's a little bit easier for me to try to get myself in a routine, and I'm not perfect by any means. I don't keep up with it every day. Sometimes I don't even do it, consecutively, like days in a row. I may do it today and then not be able to do it the next 3 days, and then do it the 5th day of the week. So I really try to just take it day by day, but those are things that I try to do to keep myself occupied, my mind occupied, so I'm not focusing on intrusive thoughts and my bad feelings. However, I definitely do feel like you have to allow yourself to feel your feelings, because if you don't, that makes you worse. And I'm somebody that likes to push off any feelings that are not happy. I'm only comfortable with happy feelings. So anytime I'm feeling sad or angry or upset or mad or anything that's not happy, I don't like it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk about it. And I am learning through my depression that you have to be okay with all of your feelings, and you have to feel all of your feelings to be able to process and get through things. But it's hard. It's really hard for me to feel my feelings, but I do know that it is something that is important to do to process through your depression. And I would encourage anybody that is suffering from depression to not ignore the bad feelings. Try not to let them consume you, but I wouldn't ignore them. I would, allow them, and, tell yourself, like, right now I'm not feeling good, and I'm, feeling like I'm suicidal, and that's okay that I feel that, but what can I do to help myself not feel these things, if that makes sense? I have been on medication before. I have done therapy, and those are both two different experiences for me. I absolutely 1000% am not for being committed to a mental facility or mental hospital. And I understand that there are some people that, that's what they need. But for me personally, that is just something that I never want to happen to me. And I've been very clear with that, with family members and friends. Like, that is not something that I want. And I thank God that I've never been in a position where anybody felt like that's where I needed to be. But I have come close to, a therapist feeling like it's medication or you're going to a hospital. And I also did not want to be on medication by any means. That I want to be on medication, but when I was at that point in my life and that was the option that was given to me, medication was the lesser of two evils. And so I did go on medication. I was on it for maybe 3 to 4 months. I did not like it at all. I didn't like how it made my body feel. I felt like it was making me worse mentally, and I felt like that was counterproductive. So I stopped taking it. And if you are somebody who is taking medication for mental health reasons, I am not a doctor and I do not recommend just stopping medication. I'm just sharing that that's what I did. If you are taking medication and you don't like it, or you feel like you want to stop, then I would talk to your doctor or therapist or psychiatrist about, having that conversation with them about going off of it. But me personally, I didn't like it, so I just stopped taking it. And luckily, nothing, happened to me physically. For me, just, stop taking it, and maybe it just wasn't in my system long enough. But I didn't want to be on medication. I tried it, it didn't work. I went off of it, and I just didn't look back. So I'm grateful that I've gotten to the point that I am now. As even though I'm not 100% better, I'm grateful that I'm not in a position where I feel like, or anybody else feels like, I need to be on medication. But it's not a bad thing to be on medication if you feel like that's what's best for you, and that's what you choose to do. 100%, that's exactly what you should do. I just felt like for me, that wasn't the best thing for me. But I do know that medication can help people and does help people. It just didn't react well with me and my body. So that's why I stopped taking it. As far as therapy goes, I absolutely hate it. I hate therapy. I don't like it at all. I have had 2 really bad experiences with 2 different therapists. But I just didn't feel heard or didn't feel seen, which I can go into story time another time. But I am right now currently in therapy with a 3rd therapist, and he is absolutely amazing at his job. And I do feel like I am getting through a lot of things because he is helping me, process. However, I still hate it. I hate going to therapy. I hate that I have to be in therapy. But I can't lie, it's definitely helping me. So as somebody who doesn't like therapy but still goes and it's helping, I would say that if you feel like you are running out of options, or you just want, a little extra boost of help, I would suggest trying therapy. It doesn't work for everybody, but I would say to at least try it, but also to be patient, because you may not find the perfect therapist the first time. I didn't find the perfect therapist the second time. And if you would have asked me after I saw the second therapist if I would try therapy again, I would have told you no. Because at that point, I just decided therapy wasn't for me. I wasn't going to do it, and I was just going to have to figure out how to get through my depression without it. But I got lucky and found the therapist that I have now by accident. I do the work and I continue to go, and I will continue to go until I'm better. And I'm saying that and being transparent because just because you don't like something doesn't mean that it can't help you and that it won't help you. And sometimes you have to make the choice to do things that you don't care for or you don't like when you know that it's what's best for you. So that's why I'm, being transparent and letting you know, like, I absolutely hate therapy, but it helps. And so that's why I choose to continue to go to therapy. You will see if you continue to, follow my journey and watch my videos, the day-to-day like vlogs of what I'm going through and how I'm feeling and what I'm doing. And I really hope that it inspires you to get through your day and feel less alone, because you're not. And there are other people in the world that feel exactly what you feel and can relate to you. And I would encourage that you give yourself grace and you're kind to yourself throughout the process of going through depression. And just remember that no matter how hard things may seem and how bad they may seem and how you might feel like just ending your life, that your life is important and you're here for a reason, and just to keep going even when you feel like you can't. There are people that love you and care about you, and those are the things that are important to hold on to, and to know that at the end of the day, you are what's important. You are what matters in this world. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching my video. Please comment, like, subscribe. I want to, build a community where we are a safe space. And even if you're not someone suffering from depression or anxiety or any type of mental illness, and you just need a smile, a helping hand, and words of encouragement, this, platform is for everybody. So let's just remember to be kind to each other and to have courage. Thank you for watching. Bye.